Hello everyone, welcome to the part number 3 of this milestone. So what we're gonna do for this one is we want to be able to create your own image picker. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add inside the project we have right now. So I've created a new user, so you're gonna surely need to log in again if you have followed the seed stuff we did in the last one. But after that you came to your page, nothing have really changed. But what we're gonna add, yeah, the only thing I've changed is we have this photo we just add finally. But now what we're gonna do, it's first thing we're gonna add here a camera icon, where when we're gonna click, that's gonna open this model right there, where here we're gonna make use of the CameraRoll library, and we're gonna take all the photo we have, and what we want is when we select one of them, we put some kind of opacity on it. You see what I mean? So this is what we're gonna do. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new route. Okay, so what we're gonna do, it's inside the screen we're gonna add a new file called create a new folder, create photo screen. So this one is gonna be where we're gonna put everything about the creation of the photo. Okay, so we're gonna say index.js, and now not flow here, that's gonna be component, or maybe a per component, it's gonna be better. And now here what we're gonna do is we're gonna import the style sheet and the view and the text from React Native. We're gonna create a component called create photo screen, and I'm gonna change this to be a per component. And now here we're gonna put a view, and inside that we're gonna have a text where we're gonna say hello creation, something like that, whatever you want. Okay, and now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna jump inside the index.js inside the screen. We're gonna do shift command D or copy paste the same line. We're gonna say create photo screen here, and now we're gonna register this component just by pasting this name right there at the two place. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we want to add this icon right there. And from what I've see as for the icon, the one we're gonna use is gonna be one from the feather stuff from the React Native vector icon. Again, just go inside the redoc and you can find finally every icon you want. Shift command D here. We're gonna get the one with the name of camera, and it came from feather. So that's gonna go inside the loop we do here, where we do the promises on it, where we load all the icon. And now what we're gonna do, it's here inside the feed screen. Now inside this feed screen, now we're gonna add some kind of code. So for those who came from React navigation, not React Native navigation, it's gonna maybe looks pretty strange, but I mean, this is the way you need to handle that with finally Wix React Native navigation. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, it's we're gonna finally add inside the component wheel mount of the screen, so of this feed screen right there, and we're gonna say this that props that navigator. So you get this props navigator every time you are a screen, so every time finally you become one of those here. Okay, and we have access to the set button function. This one you can create a button to your navbar, and I'm gonna say I want that to be in the left. And now here you can have an array of button. You need to pass in an ID. I'm gonna pass it camera, it need to be unique. I'm gonna say icon, and now for the icon, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import from my util that theme, and I'm gonna import my icons map. Okay, and now I'm gonna say icons map dot camera. So the camera we just add. Now if I save and I refresh, we get this new button right there. Okay, but now it do nothing. How can we have access to this button and doing something with that? That's a good question, and this is what we're gonna do. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new function here called onNavigatorEvent. Why this one gonna receive an event? And what we're gonna do is we need to bind this stuff inside the constructor. So now we're gonna need to change that to be a constructor, change the fit screen to be a constructor, because we're gonna need to bind this function. So I'm gonna pass to be this that state like that. We don't, and now we're gonna pass the props in the constructor, in the super. But now we're gonna make use of this props and say props that navigator dot set on navigator event. And now, so finally they have a navigation inside the props navigator, in the same props here, we have a set on navigator event who finally give you access to the event of what happened inside the headers. So here we're gonna say this dot on navigator event dot bind, and now we can say that this, so we're gonna bind to this. So now what I'm gonna do, it's I have my React native debugger, so now I can console log here the event like that. Okay, oops, and I make a typo. And now what I want you to see, it's when I'm gonna click here, you see event, I get a type ID camera and a type navbar button press. Okay, so now we can now make use of that and saying, so saying if even, so if even that type equal, and now we want to make sure then this is a navbar button press like that. We're gonna check if e.id equal camera. So this is finally the same idea as you put here. We can say something. So for now I'm gonna say hello world. So now if I click on it, I get hello world every time I click on it. Okay, so now what I can do, it's saying here this that props that navigator that show modal. I'm gonna show modal on top of my screen, and the show modal now gonna have the screen of the Instagram clone. We have create photo screen. And where did I get that? It's from the index.js right there. Okay, and now here we're gonna say we're gonna pass it a title of choose a photo. Okay, and we're gonna say an animation type of slide up. We want it to go from the bottom to the top. Okay, so now if I do this and I click, so now you're gonna see I'm gonna click, you see we get the animation from the bottom to the top to get that. I think if you change that to slide down, now you're gonna get that. Yeah, no, looks like it all go this way, but you see what I mean. So now we have the screen we need. Okay, so now we can start designing the screen. But now what we need, sorry about that, what we need, it's gonna be a new like a new linked library for using the CameraRoll. So what I mean by that is the React Native by default don't let you use this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go inside your library inside Xcode, and now here you're gonna say add file. You're gonna go to your mobile application, node module. You need to search for React Native. After that, search for libraries. After that, search for CameraRoll, who should be at the bottom, or if I sort by name, I'm gonna have right there, and now I'm gonna put the project here. Okay, after that what I need to do is I'm gonna click on my Instagram clone. I'm gonna go here inside the build phase, link binary with libraries. I'm gonna click on the plus. I'm gonna search for camera right there. I'm gonna click add. After that, go back to your general right there, not general, but open that, open your info list, and now you need to click here on the plus, search for privacy dash I think it's camera, no, it must be, yeah, I think it's camera users description, photo library, sorry, photo library is age. And now here you say whatever the name you want, whatever the text you want to show in the alert. So I'm gonna say we need to access your image, or whatever you want to put that here. Okay, and now because of this we're gonna rerun Xcode, rerun the project, should be good. Don't know why I get that here. Okay, and now inside my project here, now I'm gonna have access to CameraRoll. Okay, and now be ready to write some code because we're gonna get a lot here. So now what we're gonna do, it's first thing I'm gonna show you what happened with this CameraRoll. So I'm gonna create here a function called getPhoto, and this function here is gonna be an asynchronous function. Why? It's because when you get the photo, this is a promises, okay, from the CameraRoll. So CameraRoll have the getPhoto. Here we're gonna say first, and now this first asks you how many photos you want. So I'm gonna say max image or max photos. I'm gonna say 20. I want to get 20 photos first. And we're gonna do some kind of pagination, so that's why. So I'm gonna pass the max photo here, and I'm gonna say they want you to have an after, okay? So we're gonna get this after from here, and because we're gonna have nothing for now, you're gonna get undefined. And now inside the component in mod, we're gonna call this getPhoto. Right there, okay? And now I'm gonna console log for you the res. So now if I show you now on this, what we're gonna do, it's now if I open this one now, I get this as a res, okay? I get res, it's an object where now I have some page info in an edge. In an edge, each edge have its node, and a node have an image where you have the file name and the URI. So the URI is what you can show in the file name. So I was playing with that, and I found then the image, the file name, it's a really good one to be like kind of a unique. So we're gonna use this one for now to get unique. But also in the edge, you have page info where you have end cursor as next page and have a start cursor, okay? So we're gonna use it for the pagination after that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, it's inside the state, we're gonna start with the image of an empty string. And now finally what we want, it's when this one is done, we're gonna say this at set state image equal to dot 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 this that state that image, because we want to use it with the pagination. That's why we do this here. And now here we're gonna say res that edge, because remember the edge, it's an array. So you see, okay, so now I have that. I'm gonna keep it for that. Okay, now what I want, it's I want to create here my render item. I'm gonna pass inside my flat list, okay, or here you receive your item. So what I'm gonna do, it's here, I'm gonna return a view for now, and inside this view I'm gonna also need the image. So inside that I'm gonna put the image, and now the image is gonna have a source of URI equal to item.node.image.URI, the thing I've just showed you, and we're gonna pass it a style of image, image, and the view gonna have a style of image wrapper, okay? So now we're gonna create that with the style sheet, image wrapper and image. Image, it's pretty easy, flex of 1, that's it. But for the image wrapper right now, what I'm gonna do, really simple for now, width of I don't know, like 100 and a height of 100, okay, like that. And now I'm gonna here take my flat list, okay, and now I can replace my view here, put my flat list, and now here you say data equal to this that state that image render item. We're gonna say this that render item key instructor. For getting the each key unique, we're gonna create a function. So key instructor gonna be right there, and this one, this one's gonna be pretty easy. That's gonna be item here that node that image that file name, okay, just to get something unique. And now what I'm gonna do, it's I'm gonna surely have a loading, because this is an asynchronous call. So what I'm gonna do, it's here, I'm gonna call it if this that state that loading. So we're gonna create it, 1 sec, This that state that loading is gonna be false by default. And now this one, we're gonna return a view with here an activity indicator like that. Okay, and now this view gonna have a style of loading wrapper. This loading wrapper gonna came inside the style sheet. Really simple flex one, justify contain center and align item center. Okay, like that. And we're gonna start it finally inside this one. It's an asynchronous, so we can say set state loading true when it starts, and when it's done here we say loading it's false now. Okay, so now if I do this and I click here, I get cannot read property image. Okay, so I make a mistake somewhere. Image. Did that state the image? At least did I get my res? Looks like no. So what happened? My loading here, loading true. If this is the loading, so now here looks like it's okay. Item that know the image, so this is one is good. Item that know the image URL, it's good. Something is wrong right now. So okay, I know it's because this is an array. So here what happened is we get an array of an array inside that. So now if I do this, now we get the element, and now you see we get all the image we have. So because of this is the iOS one, so this is the image you have before. But now looks all that don't looks whatever we want here. Okay, so all we can do this. Now we're gonna do some kind of math. We're gonna do two variables here. We're gonna call one called padding 70, and we're gonna have one called margin. Margin is between each of them, and we're gonna say 10. Okay, now what we're gonna do, it's this image wrapper. Okay, what we're gonna do, it's you're gonna have a width with the dimension now. So the dimension, as you know, take the dimension of the screen. So you can get that by doing const width equal dimension that get, and now here you get windows. Okay, like that. So now what we're gonna say for the width is gonna be equal to the width. I'm gonna put that in parentheses, width the minus the padding we have multiplied by 2 minus the margin multiplied by 2 divided by 3, because we're gonna have 3 elements each side. Okay, okay, so now what I say, pretty strange, I never get this one before. I don't know why I get this error now. Width. Okay, so for now this one, okay, and for the height we're gonna do the same thing as this one. Okay, so the same thing, because we're gonna have the same size. So now if I save this one and I refresh my screen, now you see this is the size we want, but now we don't really have margin because we need to put it there. So first thing also, we're gonna add some kind of border radius because I want it to be a bit not square. I'm gonna say margin right of margin, and I'm gonna say margin left of margin. Or you can do this by saying margin horizontal, and now you get it in one shot. So now if you do this, now you're gonna get the margin, okay, here, okay, and some here. But now what we need to do is here we're gonna say num of colon, and now we're gonna put 3. So by doing this, now the flat list gonna take each element, and now they're gonna take the space from here. okay? But now what I would like to have, it's from the top to the bottom. So I'm gonna say margin vertical, and for this one I'm gonna say 2.5% of the screen. So now if I do this, this is what we got. Now we get this, they have the same size for both plates. Okay. Now what we need, it's the thing, it's yeah, I mean, okay, oops, sorry. So now we have that. We don't need the text anymore. And now, okay. Now what I would like, it's when I click on one of my photo to select this photo, okay? Because right now I don't select any photo. So what I'm gonna do, it's here. Inside that, I'm gonna console log my state. State equal this, that state. In this one, I'm gonna create a selected state who's gonna be null by default. So here I'm gonna put the image the user select, because he can just finally upload just one by default. Just one, I mean, not more than one at a time. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna create here a function called onSelect. We're gonna say onSelect. Finally, here we're gonna receive an item, and what you're gonna do, it just set state selected to be the item we have. Or you can just say selected like that and remove it. It's gonna be a bit cleaner. Now this function gonna get called, and because this is a view, we cannot do nothing with that. So we're gonna need to import the library touchable. Why now we can wrap your view with that and sing feedback of opacity like that. And now we're gonna say inside an onPress this that onSelect, and we pass it the item, the full item. So the item we have right there. Item is not defined. Oops, I make a mistake. Wasn't that here? Sorry. Here. Sorry about that. Touchable. Feedback, opacity, and onPress. That's why we have ESLint, okay? So now here we're gonna have the state. So now when I'm gonna run out, we have the state here, and we have select null, and now when I click on one, I get the one I select. Okay, perfect. So now we can make use of that to check, to make some opacity over it. So we're gonna make use of the position absolute. The way we're gonna handle that, it's first thing, we're gonna create here a variable called is selected. So we know if this item is selected. We're gonna check that by doing this that state that selected. It's not null anymore. And this that state that selected dot node dot image dot file name equal the item dot node dot image dot file name finally. Just like that. So what we say is, because if you don't do this one here, you're gonna get node is undefined, because it's going to be undefined because it's null by default. So now you need to make sure that if this that state that select is there and the node that image that file name equal that means this one's going to be true. Okay, so now what we can do, it's also adding a disable. We don't want a user to click again on an image if you have already selected. Okay, so now if I click on this one, okay, I think I make a mistake. Disable. Does that say that no? I think I'm good there. I should have it disabled. Oh, I know. And now you know why? It's because of we pass it per component inside the screen. Okay, so now what we need to do, it's inside the flat list, we're gonna need to have extra data and putting this that state only. Okay, and the extra data happen finally, you just say finally the flat list to re-render when you get new data, and we're gonna say this that state this that state, because that can be select or new item. And now if I click and I re-click, you see, now it don't work. Okay, so now this is the extra data. So now we can make use of this variable to create a new view. So we're gonna say is selected, and now here we're gonna have a view, and this view gonna have a style of image over. Okay, this image over is gonna be pretty simple. The way we're gonna handle that is by saying finally this image over have a position absolute. So now you need to understand that the position absolute is gonna go inside this touchable, inside this parent right there, okay? So now we can say top of 0, right of 0, bottom of 0, and left of 0, like that, okay? And now here we're gonna have a border radius of 3 to match up his parent, because now remember you're gonna take 0, 0, so we're gonna go over the border, and for now we're gonna put a background color of red, just for now to see if that works, okay? So now if I do this and I click on one, you see, so now we know now we select this element, okay? I think the border radius I need to match it to on my image, because looks like the image don't have, okay, yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change that to be a RGBA. I'm gonna say 0, 0, 0, and 0.5. So now when I'm gonna select one, it's gonna be just a bit more dark, you see? So now we know which one the user has select. Now I would like to have this how you say that, pagination working. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna create here a new function called onEnReach. Okay, this onEnReach here, what you're gonna do, you're gonna first thing check if the inside the res, you're gonna see here inside the res we have an information inside the page info. We have as next page. So that just mean if we take the element you have put inside the res, so the first 20, we have another photo after 20. So example, if you say 3, we're gonna have as next true if we have 5 photos, because we still have 2 other photos. You see what I mean? So this as page, we're gonna need to save it. We're gonna say as next page, and we're gonna say false by default, okay? And now what we're gonna do, it's when we get the res here, we're gonna say as next page equal to the res that page info that edge page info that as next page, okay? And now also what we can do, it's now we're gonna save the end cursor. So the end cursor is the last thing about it. It's almost like an ID or something like that, something unique on a photo. We'll just say finally this is the last photo. So if I say the last one is 4, when we're gonna search it, we're gonna search after the number 4. So here we can say end cursor, and by default we're gonna have an empty string. And now here we're gonna say end cursor equal to res that page info dot end cursor, okay? And now we can add that to this onEnReach. We're gonna call this function onEnReach, and this function onEnReach is gonna be something really simple. We're gonna call the get photo, and we're gonna call the this that state the end cursor, okay? But now looks what's gonna happen if I do this. I'm gonna open that, and now you see what happened? Now I'm making my app crashing. And because of what? It's because first thing the end cursor 1 again, and recheck again all the image we get before, and this is not good, because the thing is we have no next page. Remember, if I go to the top, as next page, it's false. So now what we can do, it's finally saying here, if this that state that as next page, we're gonna call it, okay? So now just by doing this, we're gonna change it. It's gonna work now, because remember you keep it as false, and now this one get it to false also, okay? So now we just make sure that if we don't have any other photo, we don't gonna get it there. And also what I would like is, you see, I have this loading here. Right now we don't see it because it's pretty quick, but I would not want to see this loading after just the first query. After the first query, I don't want to have a loading anymore. So what we can do, it's here set up a first query variable called true by default. So it's going to be true by default. So that means the first query, it's the first one you get. And now here we say if this that state that first query, we're gonna have this set state loading inside that. Okay, and now we just say after that, after we end this set state here, saying first query, now it's false. Okay, so now we can select a photo, and we can after that go on the next video. What we're gonna do, it's when we're gonna click next here, photo here, we're gonna have a button appear right there. We're gonna say next. We're gonna click on it and we're gonna get into the page where we can have the caption, and after that we're gonna push to the server the new photo of the user. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, the code's gonna be in my repo in the description. Hope you have a good day, everyone. Bye.